Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Let's get straight to it.
Jeffrey Epstein and his island, it wasn't just for trafficking.
What was it for?
Did you know he was really into eugenics and DNA experiments?
Whoa. He was actually, wait.
That's what the book was showing. Titled The Secrets to Life. Something very important, gifted on your 50th, right?
My goodness.
The information that was in this book, they're trying to figure out if you can take DNA of people, manufacture it, and manifest things to happen in this world.
What?
Yeah. So apparently DNA lines up with certain coordinates in the cosmos.
So my DNA and your DNA is
somewhere in the cosmos, and it lines up spiritually some way. A lot of it, what people deem right now, is dark magic. It sounds like stupid and a joke, but why were they studying it?
Yo, yeah. Whole island based on that?
The people that he invited to that island, one of them being Stephen Hawking, and a whole bunch of Nobel Peace Prize winners. Jeffrey Epstein was so involved with a school, and it was actually called the Epstein Institute, where he would be researching all of these things. And what people claim is that he was obsessed with making his own race of people.
What?
And using his own DNA to make this own race of people. Now you can imagine that ties in exactly to what?
What?
It ties in exactly to trafficking, because what you have an abundance of DNA, people to experiment on.
Oh my.
You cannot sit here and tell me that vampires are not real. If you seen the movie Sinners, this shit just gonna pop in your mind like, what the fuck? This is by far one of the weirdest shit I ever seen, y'all. On this video, this lady came out of nowhere asking this man, can she come in his gate? Can she come in to see his dogs? She heard that he had black German shepherds, and he was like, how did you get here? This is far. She said, yeah, I came from far away. I got dropped off here. And she kept begging and pleading for him to let her in. Y'all, look at this shit.
Sorry, what did you say?
I heard you had these beautiful black German shepherds here, so I came down to say hi.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Is it okay if I come in? Just for a quick second.
Oh, no, we don't really allow visitors in.
I came a long way just to...
How do you even know they were here?
Somebody told me. This is where you...
How did you get here? How did you get here?
I walked from all the way down the road. Someone dropped me off.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay. Yeah, no, we don't really allow visitors. We just moved in, and, you know, these dogs, they're out here with me now. They're friendly, but we have some rescue dogs and even protection dogs behind the other gate over there. So, you know, we don't really have a open door policy.
I'm really great with dogs. Is it okay if I meet them? You'll see, I'll show you.
No, if these guys, they're out, if they want to come say hi at the gate, it's okay.
Y'all, she was persistent. It's more. Hold up.
No, don't open the gate. Like I said, the dogs in the back, they are not as friendly as the ones that are out here, so please don't open the gate.
I'll show you. It's just gonna be a quick second.
No, not today. Maybe another time, but we're not allowing visitors. And I don't even know how you got here.
I told you I came down the road. Listen. Fuck you.
Can you just go off the gate?
I thought you were nice. I just wanted to say hi to your dog.
No, we are nice. We just don't allow visitors on the property.
If that don't remind y'all of the movie Sinners, I don't know what will. From how it sounds, it's like he lives somewhere secluded, like off-road type shit. So she really had to travel to get to this man's place. And it's weird. Like he said, how you know I got dogs? Like, what the fuck? I'm new here. This is weird, fool. And she was persistently trying to get in this man's crib. Y'all be careful out here, bro. I'm telling y'all. Y'all don't think certain shit... I don't even gotta talk about it no more. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments. This shit crazy, fool.
Yeah, she came all the way from Transylvania. Shout out to Zay Reacts. Shout out to the Dog Daddy official for not letting her in. I'm hearing things got crazier since he posted this video. We might have to check him out.
Listen, you need to leave now. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna let them out. It's midnight. What are you doing here? Leave now. It's midnight. We're not playing any more games. You are agitating my dogs. I told you late at night my guard dogs are out, and they're out. I'm not gonna be babysitting. You broke into the property at 3 in the morning.
Is that what you need?
They're gonna come out.
I just came to bless you and your dog.
You need to leave now. You need to leave now. I'm letting them out. Don't come any closer. I'm gonna let them out.
You don't have to let them out.
I'm gonna let them out.
Don't do that.
They're here and they're waiting.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna leave. The police has been looking for 4 days now. There's no one around. This is my place. I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know where you're coming from.
I just came to bless you.
I'm letting my dogs out.
Don't do that.
She disappeared. What the hell?
Look like she kind of did just disappear. Yo, that's insane. Shout outs to the Dog Daddy official.
Imagine stepping onto someone's lawn and a robotic gun turret aims towards you. Yeah, that's a real thing now. There's a company in South Africa making sub-lethal turrets for home defense. These aren't toys, they mount outside your house. They rotate 360 degrees and can fire hundreds of hard plastic or pepper ball rounds at intruders. Think paintball gun but meaner, faster and controlled remotely from your phone. They can even fire substances that make you vomit or UV tracking rounds. There's also another startup with a similar idea, the Paint Cam Eve. It's a system that uses AI and facial recognition to spot intruders. It can differentiate between people who live at the house, people you know, and someone you don't. It can yell warnings like you have 5 seconds to leave, and if you don't, it just starts opening fire on you. Developers say it's a good non-lethal way to stop thieves breaking into your house while you're away. Critics say it's basically a booby trap with a Wi-Fi connection, which it is. They state that it could be illegal or dangerous if it hits the wrong person. Still, the idea of a smart, trigger-happy security system has people wondering, is this the future of home defense? Is this the beginning of some sort of RoboCop in your neighborhood scenario? That's what people are worried about. Would you install one in your house? Or do you think this is going way too far? Let me know.
I don't know why, but I like it. That's dope. Yes, it shows the time we're living in, you know? And I'm sure it would be the start, you know? But if a vampire ever shows up at your door, I'd rather have one of these. Soak the ammunition in holy water. Shout out to Jake versus State.
The ancient Romans had a bone to pick. This solid silver ancient Roman amulet was sold at an auction, and try to take a guess as to what it was used for. It's only 3 centimeters tall, depicting a grotesque head with exaggerated features dating back to around the 1st to 2nd century AD, part of a private collection called the Esteemed European Collection. And it has this long, prominent nose, high cheeks, and a massive forehead, but what does it all mean? Well, grotesque features were traditionally used in amulets during the time of the Romans as a way to ward off evil, to keep the bearer protected and serve as symbolic reminders of the separation between our earthly realm and the divine. And I guess, lucky buyer scored this one right here for £3,200, about $4,300, so I hope it was worth it.
This is the moment a ranting passenger was duct taped to her seat for allegedly attacking the crew on a flight to Las Vegas.
Ma'am. No, ma'am.
I'll kill that. I'll kill that.
Flight attendants told the unruly passenger to take her seat, but the woman was seen bursting into a furious tirade as she tried to intimidate the visibly exasperated crew on September 16th.
Make money. They'll put you on the plane. So quick. You pray? Should have prayed. Never leave the house without talking to God or meditating.
Las Vegas police eventually boarded the Airbus A-32 to detain Ketty DeLone after the alleged disruption.
Okay, come on.
Thanks for cooperating.
She was charged with interference and assault and faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted.
Why did I not see this before? That's not a giant door. That's a dragon. It's a dragon. Now the eyes are useless when the mind is blind. And when you first look at this, all you're looking is in the front part. And all you can see is that it could be a door. But really, it could be a dragon holding something. That could be a dragon's paw. Like, this is crazy. When you first look at something, you might not see the bigger picture. You need to take a step back, brother. Take a step back. Wow. So thank you for sharing this with me. Yeah, I would not have seen this by myself. This is crazy.
I don't know. It look like it could be an eye. It's crazy though. Shout out to 15 Wow.
These storms, these floods, and these typhoons weren't enough. Thailand just got slammed with something straight out of a disaster movie. A giant sinkhole opened up in the middle of Bangkok, and not just anywhere, y'all. This is their main hospital. This is crazy. Look at this. Think about that, y'all. You've already got people dealing with the aftermath of the heavy floods, the rain, the typhoons, the wind, and now this is happening at your main hospital. So all your doctors, your nurses, your patients, they're pretty much stuck in one place right now, and nobody can get in and out. That is crazy, y'all. This thing is sinking so fast. Oh my goodness, that's insane. And he's a very serendipitous synchronicity, because I saw a TikTok today about how the healthcare system is such a scam, and now the universe is responding by telling y'all it's going down. This is crazy, literally. People be asking me, what does the shift exactly contain? And this is part of the shift over here. The weather patterns, things with politics, things changing with celebrities, people finding out about the food system. Everything is corrupted. Everything is a scam. This is all part of the shift. So all I'm saying is, just like the Hopi prophecy, people are living different realities, because there are people who are experiencing it, and there are people who are literally gliding through in life. Which one are you, y'all? I'm letting y'all know. All of Asia going through this right now currently, y'all. Coincidence or not, let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Prayers going out to Thailand and all these countries getting hit with typhoons and sinkholes. It's some scary times. Shout out to Conscious Juice.
What is a super typhoon? Well, let's start with typhoon. It's a type of rotating tropical cyclone found in the northwest Pacific, characterized by strong winds circulating around a central eye. The storm becomes a typhoon when wind speeds reach more than 64 miles an hour. But if those wind speeds reach 131 miles an hour or more, that's when it can be referred to as super. However, different meteorological offices use different terminology. In Japan, a super typhoon would be a violent typhoon. In India, it would be a severe cyclonic storm. And in the Atlantic, it would be a major Category 4 or 5 hurricane.
Do y'all see this right here? Two massive hurricanes fusing together to make a bigger hurricane to hit the United States? Because that's absolutely what some models are calling for next week. We'll go over China getting absolutely destroyed, and Bangkok, just everything falling into the earth in a second. Of course, it's a little bit too early to tell, but this is very off-putting, and the reason is, every single storm we've had this year has been rapidly intensifying. When they call for a 1, it's a 4, like with Gabriella. One that just slammed into China, that one rapidly intensified. I told you guys not to be fooled by a late start to the hurricane season, and I showed you all my math going back hundreds of years of statistics. I showed you my research into the water temperature, and now we see how everything that touches the water is rapidly intensifying. The crazy part is the formation of these hurricanes are already 80 and 90%. And as we went over, we know it's going to rapidly intensify. I mean, this could possibly take out the coast in 5 or 6 states. I am 100% certain that we will have at least one monster hurricane this season. This is the beast that's destroying China. I mean, this thing was absolutely insane. You can see it from a high rise right here. You can see all this stuff going down. You can see all the shores gone to the top left of the screen. I think it's safe to say something is very off with the weather and also with the earth. This is in Bangkok. Look at how huge this hole is. I wonder what they had under the city right here.
So apparently Ray J is working with the feds right now to drop a major RICO case against Kim Kardashian and her mother Kris Jenner. I'll show you the footage in a second. It was during one of his live streams, but he said that this is going to be worse than what we saw with Diddy. If you don't know who this guy is, he used to be a rapper a while ago. He also had an interesting relationship with Kim herself, so maybe he does know something. And we saw Kanye make a lot of allegations about Kim, but we never really seen anything come to light, so maybe now we will. But check this out.
This federal RICO though on KK and Chris. Ooh, the federal RICO I'm about to drop. Anybody know Kim and cool with Kim? They need to tell her now. The rain is coming. The feds is coming. Hey, right. The feds is coming. It's nothing I can do about it. It's worse than Diddy. It's worse than Diddy. It's worse than Diddy. The feds are coming to investigate. Yeah, because it's like I can't be the dirty guy no more.
They got him, you guys. They got him right in the kisser. Who the heck is that? I'm telling you, the Simon Cowell that I remember from back in the day wouldn't be caught dead clapping like that. Tell me, Hollywood, how did you get Simon Cowell to go from this to this? You guys honestly believe that these are the same people? I don't think so. Do you know what vibes this is all giving me? The 1996 classic, Escape from LA. And if you haven't seen it or don't know the plot, I highly suggest you research it and compare it to what we have going on today. Remember, guys, tell a vision. Tell me I'm not the only one who's noticing that Hollywood celebrities and politicians are mirroring the characters of this movie. But tell me, who did it better, guys? The doctor from Escape from LA or Matt Gaetz? You starting to see it now? And Simon and Matt Gaetz aren't the only ones. It's also happened to Matt Rife as he went from this to this overnight. Holy new jaw, you guys. What is going on in Hollywood? And how are you holding that thing up? And then you have celebrities like Zac Efron, who went from looking like Jared Leto's little brother to a David Hasselhoff clone. You guys tell me what's going on in Hollywood. Because to me, this person looks nothing like this person, but they all are starting to look like him.
Yo, that was hilarious. They out here looking crazy. Shout outs to A Truth for You. Oh my God. Simon, what's going on? He out here looking like he on the good stuff.
Yo. Somebody granddaddy is getting tricked with this software right here.
Yep, and grandma is not safe either. Grandma is not safe because Mr. Johnny is here.
We've all wondered it. I'll say it. How do you have a cartoon language and make perfectly geometric buildings or perfectly symmetrical sculptures or carve a vase out of granite with math or line an entire section of the earth up to the sky? Why is there such a huge difference between the hieroglyphs and everything else? Hieroglyphs are actually a perfect language. You can't improve them anymore, and they just showed up like this. There's no practice. They just appeared. Here's why. In college, we had to take a class called technical drafting. So before computers did all of this, to make this part, you had to provide a bunch of different views so the machinist knew the dimensions. Hieroglyphs do this exactly. They achieve the exact same result. This is an instructional form of writing. You can show depth or quantity. You can show what's inside of a basket or a bag. Show a cross-section or a schematic of a house. That's exactly how we do this today. If your entire population knows how to read this, you can communicate complex concepts like consciousness or steps to navigating the afterlife, underworld. You could indicate which parts of the brain need to be engaged to accomplish specific things. This is not limited to Egypt. If you're from Greece or Rome, you see a lot of human forms because they were focused on the human aspects of consciousness, democracy, philosophy, order. In the Vedic culture, you'll see a lot of fractal art and architecture. They understood the link between the macro, the large scale, and the micro, the small scale. They were able to culturally transmit that to us. We recognize this at CERN. Okay, Americas. We just use our eyes here. Biology, nature, cycles, seasons, each has a specialized system. The problem is translating their mythology into technology. They did not have microscopes. They did not have microchips. They did not have computers. We've only been using technical drawings for 200 years. Egypt had been using them for 3,000 years. We're only able to see this because the internet connecting us shows us how connected they were. Think about that one.
That's definitely a lot to think about. Shout out to baseforce.us.
We seem to be experiencing a major shift in reality, and dozens of people are coming forward with their stories. You need to listen to these next 3 videos because they're going to blow your mind. Take a look at it, listen, comment below, tell me what you think. Let us know if you've had your own experience.
I take the same route to work every single day or every time I work, and I'm like 15 minutes past my house. I'm on the highway. I have an hour drive. I always put it in my map so I can see if there's traffic or cops up ahead, and I'm listening to an audiobook. Like, I'm very aware of my surroundings, and I get to a point in the highway where the 3 lanes turns into 2 lanes, and the car in front of me was going really slow, and I was like annoyed because I was thinking, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to get in front of this car before the lanes turn into 2. I'm going to be stuck behind them. And then there was like a little glint of light, and I looked out my window and a plane flew in front of the sun. It was very pretty, it was shiny, and I was like, oh wow, the sun looks so cute. I wish I could take a picture, but like I'm driving and my windshield's dirty. Like, I had all these conscious thoughts. And then the lanes just keep being 3 lanes, and I'm like trying to look around the car in front of me to see when it's going to go down to 2 lanes, because I'm like, I'm about to like have to merge. And then it doesn't merge, and there's like trees, and this part where the highway does that, there's no trees in the median, and I'm like, wait, that's weird. And then I look, and there's an exit for Short Pump, which is like an exit that I'd already passed 5 miles ago, 5 minutes ago. So I'm like, wait a second, did I like black out and take an exit? Am I going the wrong way? And I look at my maps, and it says now my ETA is 6:50 instead of 6:52, so I took 2 minutes off. And I'm like, that's so weird, I just passed Short Pump like 5 minutes ago. Like, what is going on? And then I freaked out thinking, like, am I having a stroke? And I started getting really sweaty, and my heart started racing. And I'm like, am I having like a medical emergency right now? I couldn't even speak. I was just like looking at the road, and I became so disoriented and confused. I was like, I have absolutely no idea where I am right now, and I drive this highway every single day on the way to work. And then I see the sign for the exit, which is like a mile before the lanes become 3, and I was like, I was literally just here. And I look over, and there's a plane flying in front of the sun. And the sun looks beautiful, and I thought, like, okay, sun still looks really good. There's a plane up there, but I just did all this 5 minutes ago, and I somehow took 2 minutes off. And I know that I didn't exit, like I didn't. Essentially, I was somewhere, and then I somehow ended up like 5 miles behind and drove through the same thing again. And I don't know if I just drove through like a glitch in the matrix or like a wormhole or a little timeline hop or what just happened, but it was the most unsettling thing. And it wasn't like I zoned out and didn't realize where I was. Like, I was very focused on the road, very focused on the traffic, listening to my audiobook, like very with it. I didn't zone out. I was there. I almost merged.
I don't know why, but I do believe her. Sounds like she entered the Twilight Zone. Shout outs to Paranormal Link.
I fear that we will not have an election in 2028. I really mean that in the core of my soul, unless we wake up to the code red, what's happening in this country, and we wake up soberly to how serious this moment is.
How cable? Get up.
Right. You are gonna be all right, Charles. You're going to the hospital right now. You're gonna be okay. You have my word on that. Come on.
I step out of position, the secretary takes a bullet in the throat. Why were you out of position?
Look here, Mr. Tyler, he ain't in the mood to talk to nobody.
It's always in the movies. You guys,
Wouldn't it be wild if not one, but two movies predicted Charlie Kirk's assassination? Now, remember I showed you guys this movie called Tempest, which came out on the same day that Charlie Kirk died, September 10th, about a politician getting shot in the neck. I would just like to know, how did this movie from 1998 called Snake Eyes predict everything that happened? Now, in short, the movie's about a detective who goes to a boxing match and witnesses the assassination of the Secretary of Defense by, you guessed it, a shot in the neck. How is it that this guy who gets shot, his name is Charles Kirkland, like Charlie Kirk? You can't make this up. Now, in this boxing match, one of the fighters' names is Tyler, and he has a very interesting nickname, which is the Executioner. Oh, you mean the same name as Charlie's killer, Tyler, in which executed him in front of everybody. And not only that, the full name of this boxer is actually Lincoln Tyler, like Lincoln, who also got assassinated. And this date does look like September 10th, but it's actually the 19th. It looks like, I can't see, it's not too clear, because if you compare that 0 to the other one, it doesn't look the same. So that one's debunked. Then you have the city itself it took place in, which is Atlantic City, in which the filming actually took place at Trump's Taj Mahal Hotel Casino in Atlantic City. Now, what are the chances that Charlie Kirk's father actually helped build not only Trump Tower in New York, but other hotel casinos like the Tropicana in Atlantic City? And not to mention, one of the characters in the movie who was a hotel casino owner was based off of Trump. Now, speaking of Trump, not only that Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, knew Trump long before Charlie did when she won Miss Arizona in the pageant that Trump owned, but how is it possible that in this scene where this guy gets assassinated, there is a blonde in a white satin suit, just like Erica?
I'm telling you, you are the one that's gonna be sorry.
And I quote, "I'm telling you, you're the one that's gonna be sorry." Bro, what? Now, with all that being said, with the cherry on top, we have an all-seeing eye right in that scene right before he gets shot. This is why I watch movies with a different lens, you guys, because it's either predictive programming, they have some type of time travel. I don't know how this all works, but this is more than just a coincidence. As always, make sure you get into my Telegram and let me know what you think about all this down below.
What are the odds? That's insane. I never seen that movie. You can see Nicolas Cage on the cover with that hand symbol right there as well. Shout out to Maverick Approach with this research right here. I didn't know it went this deep. The movie is called Snake Eyes and we're in a snake year.
Either way, what we're about to do in this video is going to blow this whole thing open and leave no room for doubt that this is predictive programming. This is Operation Mockingbird. This is actually a little bit deeper than both of those things, because in my opinion, this is a classic case of the writers of a movie getting information from demons, from spirits, from the spiritual realm about future events that will come. So we're going to get into this in more detail, but real quick, I just want to say that this movie, it stars Nicolas Cage. It's about an event, a live event at Trump Tower, okay, on September 10th. A live event on September 10th at Trump Tower that a boxer named Tyler, a live event on September 10th at Trump Tower that a boxer named Tyler the Executioner, okay, seriously, Tyler the Executioner, I'll put the picture up right here. Who is the Executioner in our timeline? Tyler, okay? So Tyler the Executioner on September 10th, he causes a distraction and allows a man named Charles, okay, Charles Kirkland to be shot in the neck. Why, you might ask? Well, if it's not creepy enough, it's because, well, let's just say it has to do with Israeli weapons, and some shady things that are happening behind the scenes. Just like in real life, Charlie Kirk came out against Israel, and the possible, well, he didn't come out against Israel, he came out against Jeffrey Epstein and the possible ties Jeffrey Epstein had or has with Mossad. Israel's intelligence agency. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just break this down, and I really want you guys to listen carefully, because what we're about to go over and what we're about to explain is really one of the most chilling examples. Some people might call it art imitating life, life imitating art, but I think it's something deeper, something far darker than that. And that's channeling something. That's the people that wrote this movie were channeling something far darker. And it's really unavoidable at this point, and it's unexplainable unless you really use critical thinking and you think about this through the lens of the Bible. And we'll get into that. So we're going to make this whole thing connect in ways that people, your mind's going to be blown. Okay, so this isn't some vague connection. It really isn't. It's not a loose metaphor. We're not grasping at straws here. We're not forcing this thing. No, this is a direct mirror. Seriously, line for line, shot for shot, no pun intended. It's between this Hollywood film and a real world assassination of Charlie Kirk. What, 2-3 weeks ago now? Okay. So stick with me. We're going to break this down, and make sure you stick around to the end, because I'm going to wrap this whole thing together in a nice, tidy little bow, and it's going to leave no room for interpretation, because the Bible talks about this stuff happening, and the Bible is 100% real. So this proves it. All right, let's get into it. Maybe you know the film. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you haven't. Snake Eyes. It was directed by Brian De Palma, starring Nicolas Cage, and on the surface, it's a flashy thriller. There's neon lights, there's all these crazy things happening, there's fancy editing, split screen shots. It was a cool movie at the time. Nobody thought there was anything deeper associated with it. And at the heart of this movie, it's an assassination plot that foreshadows in chilling detail the death of Charlie Kirk, like we talked about. But we're going to get into it a little bit deeper here. And folks, honestly, when you see the parallels between this movie and real life, you're not going to call this coincidence. It's impossible to be coincidence. You're going to see it for what it is. It's a pattern. It's a ritual. It's black magic that was broadcast through Hollywood from the spiritual realm. In the film, it takes place in a live event. So here we have two live events. The live event, the boxing match in the movie, and the live event, Charlie Kirk speaking in Utah. And in the movie, the middle of all of it sits a powerful man who was there, Defense Secretary Charles Kirkland. Okay? Remember that name. Kirkland. Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charles Kirkland. It's the same thing. Okay? Now, as the fight begins, one of the boxers, Lincoln Tyler, whose name is Tyler the Executioner in the movie, here's a picture showing a scene from the movie, Tyler the Executioner, September 10th. He takes a dive in the first round. He was paid by Israel to do this, to distract the crowd, so that Charles Kirkland can be accessed by the sniper and shot and killed. Basically mirroring exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk. He was shot in the neck. Okay? So in the scene, it shows the Secretary of Defense, Charles Kirkland, collapsing, shot in the neck, directly in the neck, a neck wound. Kirkland, Kirk, Tyler the Executioner, nonetheless. These details are burned into the script, okay? And these details are essential to the Charlie Kirk story. These details are matching. They match in the movie, and they match in real life. What are the odds of this? Well, it can't be random. It's too much. So, back to the movie. As the plot unfolds, what do we find? The cover story is terrorism, but the truth inside the script is much darker. It's a corrupt Navy commander and a defense contractor who have set the stage for this whole event to take place. They staged it all. They staged the entire spectacle to protect an arms deal with Israel. That's right. Israel, okay? And we have Israel in the news right now. It's spelled out in the screenplay, in the dialogue, and it was written probably sometime in the early 90s, because movies usually take a few years to produce. So, script was written, it got the green light by the studio, and then the movie was filmed probably in 1996, 1997 for a 1998 release. Now, fast forward September 10th, 2025, Utah Valley University, Charlie Kirk is standing before a crowd of young people, speaking, engaging, doing what he always did, and suddenly, bang, the sniper's bullet slams into his neck. He collapsed. Tragic, heartbreaking thing. And, you know, the rest is history. Such a terrible tragedy. People screaming everywhere, phones recording.
See, I never seen this movie. Even with this breakdown, I definitely got to go check it out. Shout outs to End Time Productions. That right there just makes you wonder.
Nothing is a coincidence. Hold on to that thought. Did you know that Charlie Kirk's father, Robert W. Kirk, was actually the architect for Trump Towers? Also, did you know that Erica Lane Kirk won Miss Arizona USA in 2012? Don't forget, Donald Trump ran Miss America from 1996 until 2015. Seeing the correlation here? Now, not saying age difference is a big thing, but did you know Erica was 5 years Charlie Sr.? But this is where coincidences aren't coincidences. Watch this.
But just know that nothing is by mistake. Nothing. I will never forget the time I was in Israel with my husband, that was the second time, but the first time with my mother on a pilgrimage. And I was standing in the ticket line. And I remember looking behind me, and in the snake of the ticket line was a guy who looked very familiar. I had no idea who he was. And I told my mom, this guy looks so familiar. And as a typical mother, she said, go and say hi. No. We were late for our flight, and I'm not going to come off like a crazy person that's just weird. That ended up being Charlie. Nothing is by coincidence. Now, did we know that? No, not until we were like 3 months into our relationship and looking at timestamps, seeing that both of us were in Israel at the same time.
People, this was so arranged. And there's so much more to Erica Kirk. Kind of like how she was all into basketball, didn't want to be all girly, never liked to dress up, even cut all her hair off, and ended up being Miss USA. How does that happen? How do you go from sports to Miss USA? And then they meet at a Turning Point event in 2018, where she's interviewing for a job for Turning Point. Solidified. I got a feeling there's more to the story here.
August, so the month before he lost his life. And here is Charlie in his own words about how he was feeling.
How is your relationship with Candace Owens nowadays?
She's a great friend. You know, look, I don't agree with everything Candace says, but you know what I don't do? I don't stop being friends with people just because people morally blackmail me. I don't do that, and you shouldn't either. Look, I have different views on things as Candace. I have different views on Israel than Candace. I have different views on a lot of geopolitics. But honestly, I traveled the country with Candace. I went to her wedding. I saw her meet her husband. I went to Israel with Candace, which is a fun story I'll tell you at some point. But what I don't like is when people demand, you must stop being friends with somebody. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a left-wing tactic. Don't do that. I'm not saying you do that, but other people do that. We should never resort to that. In fact, if you believe what I believe, shouldn't you want me to be friends with people that don't agree with us? Shouldn't you want me to also be a tool of influence? And so I think the world of Candace. She's a great mother. She certainly has very, very fun opinions at times. And she's a great talent. She says a lot of stuff that sometimes I don't agree with, but that's what makes our relationship and our friendship interesting. My advice to all of you, you might not like somebody, but never tell somebody like me to stop being friends with somebody on an interpersonal level just because of disagreement. It's bad. It's what the left does, and we should rise above it as conservatives. Thank you so much.
Charlie was a very loyal friend, and I'm going to continue to be a loyal friend to Charlie. I can't stand it. I cannot stand to see the lies that are being told. The people that are intentionally taking things that I say out of context, people that were trying to pretend that Charlie and I weren't friends. It is maddening, but I know that God never gives any person more than they can handle, and I can handle it. And I am handling it.
Hey, what's up? I did a deep dive last night into Erica Kirk, or Erica Francie's Romanian Angels organization, which was an organization that was linked with the US military and accused of trafficking underage girls in Romania. Now, since this issue started going viral, pop-ups like this, which I have never seen before in my entire life, have started showing up on Google. So utilizing Google to try and find this information is probably not going to deem fruitful. The main sources we're going to use today, and I will post the articles right here, are G4 Media, Active News, and, excuse me, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Stripent Ruviata, which are all Romanian news organizations, as well as a video posted to the video sharing site Vimeo, V-I-M-E-O, that features Erica Kirk talking about this organization directly. Now, That Vimeo video is about 3 minutes long. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to play it, but I do encourage you to go look it up while it is still available, because it's posted on her personal Vimeo page at Erica France V. It's titled Romanian Angels. So just to go over timelines here, in 2012, Erica Kirk, then Erica France V, competed in the 2012 Miss USA pageant as Miss Arizona, started working for Donald Trump, and then immediately after that went to Romania and posted this following video on her Vimeo page 12 years ago. Okay, so this video was posted 12 years ago on her personal page, and most of the video is just clips of her giving gifts to orphans. However, I want to pay attention to this thank you message at the end that thanks Colonel Busher, because his name is going to come up again. Essentially, Romanian Angels was an organization that connected Romanian orphans to members of the U.S. military, and under the guise of giving them gifts. The person and the organization that she thanks at the end of that video, Colonel Busher and Associate United Hands Romania, have proven ties to child trafficking at multiple different points of their time in Romania. According to ctnews.ro, Associate United Hands Romania had close ties with the U.S. military at the Black Sea Rotational Force 17.1 and at the Mihal Kogalsanu military base. Now, forgive me for these pronunciations, I don't speak Romanian. In this article from January of 2020 from activenews.ro, I translated it, so let me just read it to you. It says, a former translator from the American base in Kogalsanu accuses a real brothel operated here, where minors were brought in. The woman filed a criminal complaint with DICOT, D-I-I-C-O-T, requesting that the Kogalsanu file be connected to the Carousel Develsalu file. DICOT is the branch of the Romanian government that investigates organized crime. Now, for background, the Carousel Develsalu file was a criminal case in which a 18-year-old girl and a 15-year-old girl, Louisa and Alexandra, respectively, disappeared under alarming circumstances, shockingly close to a U.S. military base in Romania. And when they caught the person that they accused of kidnapping both girls, the locals had said that that man had close ties with the U.S. military base in Romania. Now, backing it up to Colonel Busher of the U.S. Army, Erica's bestie, okay? I'm going to go back to that article from January 2020. The Carousel case in the summer of 2019 brought the Develsalu base to the forefront. That's the military base, with voices linking the disappearances of the two girls to human trafficking networks and the military unit hosting American troops. The translator cited at the beginning of this article is named Anna Maria Nusanu, who claims that a real brothel operated in this military unit and on this military base, where underage girls were brought here to satisfy the desires of some soldiers. Nusanu notified the prosecutor's office about this brothel on the premises of the military base, and although there was an extensive investigation carried out by the American and Romanian authorities, an agreement signed in 2001 between the two countries was invoked. In that agreement, Romania ceded the right of investigation to the U.S. military. Anytime there were crimes committed on a U.S. military base in Romania, those crimes could not be investigated by Romanian authorities. They were then investigated internally by the U.S. military. The article then says, among those who would have benefited from the services of the young girls brought to the Kogalsanu base would have been the commander of the Black Sea Area Support Team, Colonel Otto Busher, helped by his right-hand senior adjunct platoon leader, Lloyd Sparks. So, the very person that Erica was thanking at the end of that Vimeo video that I showed you is then implemented in child sex trafficking crimes. The article goes on to say, the document contains absolutely incredible information and details, which the author of the complaint, Anna Maria Nusanu, argues with concrete evidence in which under normal conditions would have led to convictions and long prison terms. However, since we are talking about military interests, the US and NATO, these are forces that always try to put these matters on the back burner whenever such scandals explode in the public space, the journalist writes. The case was effectively buried when the Americans invoked this agreement that they had with Romania that essentially prohibits Romanian authorities from investigating these crimes and hands over all investigative authority to the United States military. Here is another article from activenews.ro that provides further proof that Colonel Otto Buscher, the person that Erica thanked for helping her with the orphans, was directly involved in these trafficking crimes. In that article, there are translations of his messages where he is negotiating prices for underage girls. So at the very least, the person she was running that organization with, the US military officer that was helping her do these things, has at multiple points been implicated in trafficking Romanian minors to US military bases. And at the very least, we deserve some kind of explanation as to why she left Romania, why the organization just stopped operating, and why all of this information regarding that man, her connections to him, and what Romanian Angels did while in Romania, while on that US military base, has been essentially scrubbed from Google. And even if we are to assume that maybe she found out about everything and left, why wouldn't you speak up? Why wouldn't you use the power that you now hold to hold the US military accountable and talk about the horrific experience that you had being associated with child traffickers in Romania? That's weird to me. And why is it that everyone who has some sort of working relationship with President Trump has ties and accusations regarding this topic? This is not a normal thing. I have lived a very colorful life. Never in my life have I landed myself in a situation where there were even accusations, even a rumor of me being affiliated with underage child trafficking. Everything about it is fishy. So thank you for coming on this ride with me. We have now reached an 8-minute mark. I think that is ample time. I will continue reporting back if I find anything else.
Yeah, this ain't a normal deep dive at all. Shout outs to Alexis Rose for taking us on that journey. It's like the more you look at this, the more it screams cover up, conspiracy. Like, yo, if it wasn't for Alexis, I don't think any of us would have known this. My question is, was CK aware of all of this?
Might have found the actual location of Charlie Kirk's shooter. I need you guys to tell me if I'm taking crazy pills over here. So at this point, pretty much all the experts agree that the shot came from the left behind him a little bit. So I figured let's just cook through all the footage that we've got, the original footage, and look over here for someone. And there's this little bloop on this rooftop that we're going to keep going back to. But a lot of people are looking at Bushman on this balcony too. And so we're speed scrolling through this video and we're just checking out what do we see there in that spot over and over and over. Right now, I don't see anything, right? And there's like a table and chairs and a little potted plant on that balcony that we'll see again in a second. Side note, this is the footage that has the little guy on the Woodbury roof here, briefly, right there, boom. Don't know what to make of that. That doesn't really have access to the rooftop that I'm looking at over here. But while he's over here, we can get a close-up of this is potted plant and the table and chairs. Potted plant by the corner of the glass, which is important in a second, and table and chairs. And right there, it's pretty obvious that potted plant is not a person, right? So he moves again, speed through it, and then we get another view of this rooftop, and we zoom in, and there's like a little thing there. There's like a little dot in the middle. We're gonna come back to it, right? Pause and check again. There's a little thing right there. That's a thing. It didn't look like it was there in the first shot, but it's there now. This is a little ways before Charlie gets hit. Moves again. coming around a little closer. Thing is still there, definitely still there, 100%. The balcony is like table and chairs, and there's like a double potted plant thing here. And I think it's a reflection. I think you're seeing the potted plant kind of twice. The thing is still there on the rooftop. And the potted plant situation doesn't really seem to change. He interviews these guys a bunch. And then bam. So now the shot is fired off. Is that thing still up there? This is our first view, and it doesn't look like it. Better view comes up. Zoom in. The thing is gone. This is all blurry down here. It clarifies in a second, but that thing is gone. Right? I mean, better view. The thing is gone. It's still blurry down there. And then he puts his tripod down. And when he puts his tripod down, boom, it comes into clarity.
We heard shots.
And the thing is not up there. So I went back and forth on looking at the bush there a lot too once it clarified. And like the bush part on the balcony does not seem to change throughout the whole video. It looks the same on the balcony every time I see it. It's the thing on the roof that goes away that I'm really curious about. So if we're looking at the balcony, you go back to where he's over here by the balcony. Look at how close where the cameraman is standing right now, and all these people that are on this ledge right here. Look at how close they are to this balcony. If Bushman had been on that balcony, all of these people would have been like right next to him. Someone would have seen Bushman if he had been on the balcony. The balcony feels like it's too low. It's too close. Like the thing about shooting someone is that you need a line of sight to them, and that means they have a line of sight to you. And so in this situation, that means that a lot of people have a line of sight to the shooter at the moment of the shot, most likely. And in that direction where we're pretty sure the shot came from, there's not a lot of options. And then suddenly on the rooftop, which is like the one place with line of sight that is definitely away from the crowds that you would have some privacy on, there happens to be a little dot there that's like there through the shooting time and then immediately gone as soon as the shooting happens. So the real question I think right now is this big enough to be shooter? It's pretty small. I don't know if that's big enough to be shooter. It's far away, but like imagine a person next to these chairs. Like, am I going crazy over here? You guys tell me.
I don't think you're crazy at all. It's definitely something to consider. Shout out to Ian Carroll. Very interesting with the new developments that came out. It feels like sleight of hand. At this point, was it a guy or was it something artificial?
And the DNA on the screwdriver.
If you can go back to Miss USA 2012, what a story you would have to tell.
To our fantastic musical guests, Cobra, Starship, and Akon, and to our wonderful correspondents, Jeannie Mai and Kelly Osbourne. Great job.
You know who that is, Miss Arizona? That's Charlie Kirk's wife.
Of course, the owner of the Miss Universe organization, Donald Trump.
Things are about to change.
He also hoped his actions would give ICE agents real terror of being gunned down, and he did this to induce constant stress in their lives. He hoped his actions would terrorize ICE employees and interfere with their work, which he called human trafficking. And this, what he did, is the very definition of terrorism.
What I shared was a bigger deal than I had imagined by saying that I didn't see any blood, and that is a fact. I did not see any blood. In fact, the only blood that I did see at all, I'm talking about blood on the back, was on Charlie's hand, on Charlie's left hand. But what I didn't expect thereafter was for the Turning Point USA spokesperson, Andrew Colvett, to issue this statement as people were asking questions like, hey, how is that possible? How was there nothing in the back if this is the gun that was used? Andrew Colvett tweeted this: I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize that this is somewhat graphic. But in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle, and I want people to know. I just spoke with the surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital. He said the bullet, quote, absolutely should have gone through, which is very, very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc. End quote. And then, now this is Andrew. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned to his doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent, and he replied, it was an absolute miracle that someone else didn't get killed. His bone, referring to Charlie, was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the Man of Steel. It should have just gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too. In the end, the coroner did find the bullet just beneath the skin. Even in death, Charlie managed to save the lives of those around him. Remarkable and miraculous. So I think I would like to just respond to what is being said objectively rather than to attack Andrew Colvett's character. That aside, the statement objectively feels to me like the manipulation of a Christian audience, right? They know Charlie's audience is Christian. And therefore, what they're selling to us is you should believe, you're a believer, right? As a Christian, you believe in miracles, right? Like you believe in Christ and the miracles, then you should just believe this. There's something about that I don't like. Yes, the conservative base is filled with Christians, but also the conservative base is filled with a lot of hunters, and they know weapons, and they know how weapons work, and they know how weapons don't work. And this particular statement to me does not pass the sniff test. Now, again, when I shared that information, I had assumed they were going to say the angle went through this way. I did not imagine they were just going to say that it was a miracle.
That's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed the video, please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.